Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Nur Asma Afifah binti Shukri. Today my group as group number 4 will present chapter 4. Okay, first of all I will present about why technology is important. Okay, first we need to know the definition of technology because we need to understand the differences between knowledge, technology and innovation. Technology is the application of knowledge into some practical form typically applied to industrial and commercial use, while knowledge is a theoretical or practical understanding of a subject such as chemistry, mathematics, language or sociology. Okay, next is about innovation, which is innovation is the spread and diffusion of technology in society and organization. According Freeman 1982, he saw technical innovation as the introduction and spread of new and improved products and processes in the economy. This definition includes design, manufacturing, management activities involved in marketing or improve product. While some technology are associated with harmful effects such as pollution and exploitation of the Earth's resources, the overall benefits of technological change to humanity are well known. Technology impacts on the job availability, working conditions and public spending. It also has a large influence on productivity in the same way that product pass through a life cycle, so do companies and industries. But sometimes technology accelerates the decline of an industry as personal computers signal the end for mechanical typewriters. Okay, technology can help to extend the lifetime of certain industries into facing strong competition from producers in developing countries. It also can contribute to achieving competitive prices in world market. For example, the telecommunication sector. Actually, technology plays a big part in enabling newly industrializing countries such as Thailand and Indonesia to develop their economic and social infrastructure. And last one is technology is a major change agent in world markets, and the pace of technological change is rising. Okay, that's all from me. My group member will explain more after this, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jawan. Today I want to present about funding of research and development. 4.1 National difference in technological environment, we need to estimate how industry nation R&D. R&D is a project work that aims to create new knowledge and understanding with a will to advancing or improving science and technology. It can also cover improvement to product and service directly or to the process or system back to produce them. Government publish details of the research that they want undertaken to meet particular social and technical objectives, and organizations are free to bid for country. At national level, government operates a statement for managing and funding R&D. The main source of R&D funding are business, enterprise, and government. Expenditure on R&D changes with the general state of the economy. When the economy is buoyant, higher government revenue from taxation support increased public spending, a small part of which goes towards R&D. In a buoyant economy, business enterprise enjoy relatively higher profit, which can be invested in R&D. Different in R&D spending by social economy objectives shed more light. The relationship between R&D spending and the performance of organization, however complex. The 4.3.2 indicator of scientific and technological progress. National difference in scientific and technology innovation can be tracked in a number of ways. This includes patent application spending on R&D and employment in technology dependent sectors. A patent is a legal title of industrial property, granting its owner the exclusive rights to exploit an invention for a limited area and time. To qualify for a grant of a patent, an invention is equivalent for novelty, usefulness, and inventiveness. Other indicators comparing countries by percentage of GNP spent on R&D is useful measure, but give a clearer comparison we need to take into account the nature of industry in a country, the extent to which it is level of capital intensive, and average size of companies. Labor intensive sectors such as software and clothing sectors tend to have low fixed costs and high variable costs. Capital intensive sectors have such as electronics and chemicals tend to have high fixed costs and low variable costs and spend proportionally more on research and development than labor intensive sector. 4.3.4 sectoral difference. Not all business sectors use technology to the same extent, and technology is not equally important to all sectors. The leading sector in terms of the amount they spend on R&D are pharmaceutical and biotechnology, information technology, hardware and software, electronic and electrical goods, and aerospace. Labor-intensive sectors are characterized by small companies that eventually are not large enough to justify their own research and development department. Technology remains important to labor-intensive sector, but not on a different scale. In labor-intensive sector, some of the manufacturing operation needs to assemble the product require manipulation of components and switching or sewing together. In pharmaceutical manufacture, it is through the discovery of new drugs or different ways of making them that companies can go in a disadvantage over their competitors. Development of this complexity requires a distinct dedicated in-house or subcontract research because to keep the industrial secret and to keep control over the very complex project. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. I'm Nushaira binti Shu'ib and I will talk about some general information related to the technology. As we know, today's world are all about technologies. However, some technologies are having a big impact on some business sector. Uh, information and communication technology (ICTs) are applied to capture, storage, manipulations, and also to retrieval the information, such that junior staff can be trained quickly in order to take responsibility in complex customer inquiries. In additional to the label substitutions, ICT has blurred the boundaries between the formerly district sector. In some, ICT also alter the structure of financial services industry. Hence, the fundamental of the competitive focus, which is ICT, has changed the nature of the competitions and also the business environment. ICT also give impact on decision making in an organization, which is next is advanced manufacturing technology (AMT). Mostly manufacturer have always preferred for long production runs of the same product due to the cost per unit producing the product has fallen as volume has rise. For the production, innovation and renewal is one key part of organization marketing strategy, but this is give impact and implication to the production system. The shorter production runs are required, but some organizations fail to respond to these changes. Flexible production runs are required in order to help the manufacturer quickly adapt to the market demand, and this system help manufacturer and open up a new opportunities to the manufacturer, and easy for them to setting up the machines and time.
Now I'm going to explain about the supply chain management and just-in-time. Installation of AMT has also coincided with a major remodeling of the manufacturing supply chain. When market changes push in the other direction, retail and industrial buyers pushed manufacturers to find ways of making smaller quantities of more items and to deliver them much more quickly. This was made possible with AMT and the ICT. Meeting customers' needs just-in-time environment has also altered the relationship between organizations in the chain. One of the many important things that manufacturers have to manage is stock control. JIT aims to eliminate all activities that do not add value to the product and to cut material usage to a minimum. JIT focuses on several areas like designing product. Employees are required to be more flexible and actively participate. Setup times for machines, communication system, and the number of suppliers are minimized. And now I'm going to explain about the business use of the World Wide Web, that means WWW. In early 2009, about 1.6 billion people, or 23% of the world's population, used the internet. This number has grown by 400% since 2000. The benefit of organizations of maintaining website include helping to establish a presence, act as distribution channel for electronic products, business-to-business transactions are simplified, suitable for advertising, one-to-one business, and electronic businesses will small companies become viable. The current limitations of web use include unacceptable connection time, worries over the insecurity, vulnerability of internet and web serves to hacking. The demographic profile of web users restrict the potential for using it as a marketing medium. International and global companies require extensive communications between decision makers in various countries, and the internet offers an alternative to posting information on a website. The internet has revolutionized shopping habits by enabling customers to compare and scan a store's product range and order for home delivery.
Assalamualaikum and good day for everyone. My name is Nur Hafsatuwani binti Zainal Abidin. Today I will present the technology organization structure. Okay, the technology organization structure is the way that technology affect the structure of organization. Firm using the similar technical method and have similar organizational structures. And third, the different type of technology employed seem to dictate the type of structure required to manage it efficiently. Next, in the English academic, John Woodward undertook a study to see why British manufacturers varied in structure and how structure affect performance. Her study became a classic of industrial sociology. One of her questions was, how can organization structure be measured and described? For the example, what makes one structure different from another? She looked at many different variables. For example, the ratio of direct workers, such as people actually involved in production, to indirect workers, such as manager and support staff. Then we move to the another point, that is some generation were possible from this study. In particular, as technical complexity increased, then labor cost as percentage of total decreased. Second, the ratio of indirect to direct labor increased. And third, the span of control of top manager increased. And then the last one is the ratio of management staff to the total number of staff increased. For the technology and industry structure, is the finding that machinistic organization structure could be successful in stable environment is probably still true today. And for fewer sectors still enjoy a stable business environment. Industry structure is typically seen in terms of the number of firms in a sector, their relative size, their interrelationship, and the concentration of market share, for example, oligopoly or monopoly. And fourth, industry structure is thought to have a strong bearing on industry probability. And the last one is for some sector, it is relatively easy to access structure. For example, the product is easily classified. And then this other sector, particularly information based on sectors such as financial service, are much harder to analyze with a much bigger and diverse base of organization providing them. For example, high-street banks, supermarket, and internet-based providers. And technology and industry structure are related to. And the third point is technology, job, and skill. Technology change lead to loss or displacement of jobs. Although it is preferable to see a bigger picture of how to change affect jobs. Job losses do occur, but mostly new jobs can be created that require the skill to work with the new technologies, as well as jobs in companies making and supplying them. The adoption of computerized manufacturing, technology increase skill requirement of people operating machine. In particular, their technical knowledge and ability to solve the problem. The skills are linked to increase of flexible technology include problem solving, interpersonal skills such as teamworking, computer skill, reading and mathematics. An organization has an urgent need to adopt them, it may have an increased demand for higher skilled workers. For example, in factory, they have a machine technology that high technology of machine that can produce more the production and can increase the sale and also can increase the profit. So thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Nur Azifa binti Muhammad. I will explain about technology change and job stress. Okay, stress is not an easy concept to define, but does relate to the psychological reaction such as tiredness and headache. Beside that, psychological stress occurs when these resources are threatened or when a person thinks that their resources will be diminished. Workplace stresses include high workload and pressure to meet deadlines. Besides that, although different people have different capacity to cope with job stressor, for example, regular change toward system requiring new learning and adaptation, and the amount of information the employees have to process has increased, and this is closely linked to ICT. Okay, next is teleworking and work from home. Teleworking is a system which is employees use ICT to perform work away from the organization. It's applicable to many sectors, and types of work undertaken include information analysis, data process and publishing. Basically, teleworking represents a trend toward remote working. That the main drivers for teleworking is teleworker may prefer the flexibility and freedom relative to regular attendance at a remote site.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazin Zuraimati Roslan. Okay, next, I will present about managing technology, which is for the next point is technology development. Okay, what is technology development? Technology development is before the industrial revolution and the growth of the large organization. Important technology development, for example, as we can see, is metal working, water mills, and windmills, which is involved over hundreds of years as experience accumulated. Iris, 1991, said that he suggested that important innovation occur in clusters after a scientific breakthrough that opens up new territories for process and product development. Researchers can be imagined pushing on a particular door until it begins to open. The clustering of innovation also was one of 5 causes of innovation identified by Rothwell and Wiseman in 1991. They note that the connection between social, economic and technological development as follows. There is 5 under the notes given, which is first, there is a need for technological change, which is the technologies are developed when there is a need for them. Second, very often, which is major inventions are not single advance but rely upon clusters of related technologies to make them work. Third, the social resistance to change is well known, which means is by even though it have varied cultures, age and religions, but we still aware Western culture into Islamic State is a cause for concern in some quarters. Fourth is technical capabilities such as expertise, finance, and organization. For the last one is social objective are important, which is it turn the influence the direction of technology development. Okay, for the last one, which is 5, is a social objective are important. It's turn the influence the direction of technology development. Okay, for the second one in the technological development is the organization of research and development. Under the research development, it have several ways of organizing the ways that R&D is performed. First is centralized, second is decentralized. Okay, for the first one, centralized is in-house facilities in an R&D division that serve other business unit. Second, decentralized, which is the research and development that each business unit carries out its own activities. Both approach will give full control over project and sensitive information is relatively secure. Okay, next one is for technological change and society. Okay, in the technological change and society, there is 5, which is first is ethical aspect of technological change. Second, workplace surveillance. Third, technology and safety. Fourth, technological change and vulnerability. 5 is technology and waste. Okay, for the first one, ethical aspect of technological change is the subject of ethics deal with the moral issues arising from decision open to individuals and group, including business enterprise. It's a modern society is very aware of the ethical issues of technology such as ICT, the sign of cloning, and the sign of genetically modified GM foods. This development raised ethical questions, for instance, about the working condition in call centers, the amount of information that organization hold on people, and the effect on the natural environment. A current and future ethical problem also concern the issues of privacy and light of the near limitless capacity of ICT to store information about individuals from their internet usage, motor insurance, and credit card transaction, among others. There's the recent technology of DNA profiling, which performs unique, such as DNA fingerprints, as allowed DNA sample from all crime scene to be matched against fresh DNA samples taken by the police. Okay, for the second point is workplace surveillance. Okay, workplace surveillance has become an issue for employees and researchers such as Kinwell and Sprague 2009. Okay, for example, that we can see is website connection, the content of email sent and received, employee behavior via CCTV, the time spent. Okay, workplace surveillance has become an issue because of employees' advanced sensibilism for this is to ensure that their employees are not abuse the organization resource and to help thief and sabotage, or to protect employees from assault or abuse. Okay, for the third one is technology and safety. Okay, for the technology and safety, the Industrial Revolution in the UK about 1760 to 1830 lead to large number of people which is working in factory as well as an improved transportation system involving canals and railways. At that time, and in the decade that followed, safety hazards were largely seen as accepted part of working life. working conditions were poor and hazards were ever present. For example, in mining and heavy industries, and other came from a lack of knowledge about the effect of materials such as lead, mercury, gases, solvent and fibers on the human body, leading to many industrial disease. The act of the Parliament relating to the health safety at work is the Factory Act, which is passed in 1802 and gives some protection to children working in cotton mills. Next, for the fourth one is technological change and vulnerability. Although human societies have been adapting new technologies for thousands of years, communities remain largely self-sufficient until recently. Recent technologies based on oil and electronics have led to extensive integration of communities, such that they are highly dependent upon others. The effect of large-scale shutdown of electricity supplies. All ICT based on work would cease. Financial system would be thrown into change given the volume of electronic transactions. Air and rail transactions would stop. Emergency service would be paralyzed and factory and hospital would stop functioning. For the last point is the technology and risk, which is although technology has been delivered many great steps forward, it also have disadvantages of the dark side effect. A combination of technology progress coupled with clever marketing, which is especially branding, has created societies in which the interval between production and disposal of goods can be very short. This has led to serious impact on the amount of waste being produced and the cost of the earth's resource to maintain production, such as forest and land use. Recycling technologies help, but we are a long way from being in equilibrium state in which new goods are produced out of recycled material.